How can we bring a more profound meaning into our hectic lives? In the past, Gautama Buddha was quoted as saying that concentrating on the here and now exposes the splendor and tranquility of existence. We're going to delve into the profound teachings of Zen Buddhism today, which will teach us how to live a calm life by immersing ourselves in the present moment. It was once said by Gautama Buddha, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." In this article, we will discuss how life can unfold in a way that is both magical and effortless when we stop trying to force things and begin living in harmony with the natural flow of the universe. The practice of Zen Buddhism is not merely a philosophical doctrine, rather, it is a pragmatic approach to life that urges us to live in the present moment to the fullest and to accept the calm that originates from within. The timeless teachings of Zen Buddhism provide valuable insights that can be applied to a variety of situations, including the reduction of stress, the enhancement of consciousness, and the simple discovery of more joy in the everyday. Participate with us as we unearth 13 concepts that have the potential to assist in transforming your approach to life, so making each moment more meaningful and each action more significant. 1. Recognizing the transience of things. Within the framework of Zen Buddhism, the concept of impermanence is regarded as an essential reality. The realization that everything in life is ephemeral, ever-shifting, and ever-changing, from the transitory beauty of a cherry blossom to the ever-changing seasons, is what it means to acknowledge this fact. While the teachings of Buddhism encourage us to oppose impermanence, they also encourage us to embrace it. As an alternative to clinging to what is fleeting or attempting to impose permanence on what is ephemeral, we are encouraged to flow with the natural cycle of change. Rather than being a form of resignation, this acceptance of impermanence is a form of release. Through the realization and acceptance of the fact that nothing in life is permanent, we are able to free ourselves from the hold that attachment has on us and discover a better sense of inner peace. We invite sorrow into our lives when we choose to resist the impermanence of things. As a result, we find ourselves caught in a loop in which we cling to what we want and shrink away from what we are afraid of losing. However, when we accept the fact that everything is temporary, we make room in our hearts for the splendor of the here and now. We acquire the ability to value every experience, conscious of the fact that it will not endure indefinitely, but that its transience is precisely what makes it valuable. We are able to let go of the impulse to exert control over every facet of our existence when we fully embrace the concept of impermanence. The natural ebb and flow of existence is something that we can accept without resistance, rather than trying to compel things to remain the same. This does not mean that we become unresponsive or uninterested. Rather, it implies that we grow more robust, flexible, and enthusiastic about new experiences. Having a fundamental comprehension of impermanence involves acknowledging the ephemeral quality of existence and discovering a sense of tranquility in the midst of continuous transformation. Embracing the enchantment of the present moment and letting go of the illusion of permanence are both essential components of this process. Taking this approach enables us to traverse life with greater comfort and grace, with the knowledge that each and every moment, regardless of how fleeting it may be, is a gift that should be appreciated. 2. Mindfulness training and practice. The practice of Zen places a strong emphasis on mindfulness. The practice of devoting undivided attention to the here and now, without evaluation or distraction, is a straightforward approach that has tremendous results. The discipline of mindfulness was initially developed in Buddhist meditation practices. However, it has since gained widespread acceptance due to its capacity to improve mental and emotional well-being of individuals. Putting mindfulness into practice entails paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings at all times from moment to moment. Because of this knowledge, you are able to see the beauty and fleeting nature of each experience, which enables you to appreciate life as it unfolds without the desire to control or force outcomes. Mindfulness serves to alleviate the anxiety and stress that arise from fixating on problems from the past or doubts about the future. This is accomplished by concentrating on the here and now. The practice of mindfulness has a wide range of advantages, including the enhancement of attention, the reduction of stress, the enhancement of emotional responsiveness, and the promotion of a stronger sense of well-being and contentment. As a result of practicing mindfulness, you are completely absorbed in whatever it is that you are doing, whether it be eating, walking, conversing, or working. The practice of mindfulness brings about a state of concentration that has the potential to convert mundane activities into periods of happiness and connection. Additionally, mindfulness assists in the process of embracing and negotiating change, which is an essential component of impermanence that was described before. Being in the moment makes it less likely that we will fight against the changes that are unavoidable in life and more likely that we will respond with grace and flexibility. Because of this acceptance, the mental pressure that comes from attempting to compel things to conform to our expectations or concerns is reduced even further. Not only do we learn to live more deeply through the practice of mindfulness, but we also learn to let go of the battle to transform our lives into something that we want them to be. Taking this approach does not mean that we lose our motivation or that we stop creating objectives. Rather, it means that we approach our goals with an open mind and a willingness to adjust them in accordance with the requirements of the present moment. It is possible that a life that is more meaningful and less forced, one that is totally linked with the flow of our genuine existence, can be achieved by striking a balance between action and acceptance. 3. Being able to let go of things. The Zen Buddhist concept of the practice of letting go is considered to be one of the most liberating teachings. This philosophy is centered on the idea that we should let go of our attachments to results, possessions, and even identities. To achieve inner peace and to make life flow more freely, letting go is a fundamental step that must be taken in order to accomplish both of these goals. In the same way that shackles bind us to our fears, desires, and illusions, attachments are like chains itself. They force us to exert control over our lives and environments in order to sustain or accomplish these attachments, which frequently results in feelings of anxiety and pain. Because we are fighting a hopeless battle against the natural flow of change and evolution, we are attempting to force our will on the impermanence of existence, which is the source of this pain. The first step in letting go is coming to terms with the fact that attempting to exert control over everything is both fruitless and stressful. Instead, Zen Buddhism instructs us to accept the unpredictability of life and to accept things in their current state and as they manifest themselves. We are able to experience life without the load of constant expectation when we let go of our anxious grip on how things should be. This allows us to be more open to the possibility of experiencing life. Because it brings us into alignment with the reality that everything is subject to change, the practice of letting go can greatly minimize the amount of mental and emotional tension that we experience. We do not fight against this reality, rather, we embrace it and move on with it. The acceptance of this fact does not imply that we are passive or that we are giving up on our objectives. Rather, it implies that we are approaching our objectives with flexibility, openness, and a readiness to adjust to changing circumstances. Another benefit of letting go is that it teaches us to have faith in the journey itself, even when we are not in control of the itinerary. Because of this trust, our relationships with ourselves and the world around us are strengthened, which in turn helps to cultivate a sense of serenity and happiness that is not readily disrupted by the ups and downs that life sometimes brings. When we decide to stop trying to force life and instead begin living it with an open heart and mind, we find that life can really be magical. This realization comes about as we practice letting go. 4. The influence of being quiet. However, the power of quiet is frequently disregarded in today's modern society. The practice of Zen Buddhism instills in us the value of quiet, not as the absence of noise, but rather as a profound presence that cultivates both self-awareness and wisdom. Including intervals of stillness as part of our daily routine has the potential to have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Silence affords a unique chance for reflection and the establishment of a connection with oneself. When we are able to listen to our own thoughts and feelings more clearly, we are able to do so in those times of silence, when we are not distracted by the continual commotion and activity that surrounds us. Through the practice of tuning into our inner selves, we are able to become more aware of our genuine wants, desires, and feelings, which ultimately leads to a more profound comprehension of who we are and what ultimately brings us happiness. Also, silence has the potential to significantly improve our capacity for mindfulness and attention. We are able to concentrate more intently on the here and now when there is no distraction from the outside world to divert our attention. When we are in silence, whether we are meditating, reading, or simply relaxing, our relationship with the activity at hand becomes more profound, and our sensory experiences become more intensive. There is the potential for this heightened awareness to bring about a deeper sense of contentment and calm. In addition to gaining personal understanding, the benefits of embracing quiet are extensive. Recharging our mental batteries, lowering our stress levels, and cultivating a sense of peace are all achievable via the practice of silence. In these secluded areas, our minds are afforded the opportunity to relax, recuperate, and revitalize themselves. It is possible that the clarity that we experience at these moments can increase our ability to make decisions and solve problems, which in turn enables us to deal with the obstacles that we face on a regular basis with more grace and less anxiety. Additionally, when we are able to find the space to connect with more profound truths and broader perspectives, we are able to do so in silence. A sudden surge of inspiration, a solution to an issue that has been bothering us for a long time, or even an overarching sense of unity with the world that surrounds us are all examples of how this connection might materialize. Therefore, by making quiet a consistent part of our life, we not only improve our own mental and emotional health, but we also improve the way in which we interact with the world by becoming more thoughtful, calm, and insightful. Embracing the power of silence is about more than just finding stillness. It's about building a sanctuary within ourselves where the noise of the world is hushed, allowing our genuine essence and intuition to speak out. This is what it means to embrace the power of silence. 5. Having compassion and being kind. Compassion and compassion are key foundations in Zen Buddhism. They guide not just how we should treat other people, but also how we might improve our own lives by the positive energies that we let out into the world. Compassionate behavior toward other people is not merely an act of altruism, rather, it is a transforming practice that enhances our own existence and helps us develop a more profound connection to the world that surrounds us. We recognize the interdependence of all beings as we engage in the practice of compassion that we engage in. The realization that we are able to see beyond ourselves and our immediate problems is a significant benefit. We are able to reduce our own egos and the problems that are frequently associated with thinking that is concentrated on ourselves when we concentrate on the well-being of other people. This transformation in viewpoint is not only freeing, but it is also grounding because it brings us into alignment with the essential nature of life, which is that everything and everyone is directly connected to one another. It is also true that acts of kindness provide a tremendous sense of fulfillment and enjoyment in the recipient. According to the findings of several studies conducted in the field of positive psychology, assisting other people not only boosts our own levels of happiness, but also has the potential to lead to improving both our mental and physical health. This is a powerful and good emotional state that is obtained from the act of giving, and it is frequently referred to as the help is high. Not only does this state improve our mood, but it also strengthens our immune system and adds to our overall sense of well-being. We are also more receptive to receiving kindness when we engage in the practice of compassion. It is not uncommon for us to discover that the world reflects our actions and goals. Inviting similar energies into our life is something that we may accomplish by building a caring heart. Through reciprocal respect and concern for one another, relationships have the potential to grow deeper and new connections can emerge. Obviously, this is not the reason that we engage in acts of kindness, but it is frequently the result of doing so. On a final note, compassion and kindness have the ability to mitigate the harshness of our judgments and criticisms, not just toward other people, but also against ourselves. We are able to negotiate the challenges that life throws at us with greater grace and patience when we use this soft approach. It serves as a reminder that everyone is going through their own struggles, and that having a knowledge of this common struggle helps to cultivate empathy and forgiveness. By their very nature, compassion and kindness have the power to alter our perspective of the world and our position within it. We can indirectly improve our own lives by concentrating on the well-being of other people, which results in the creation of a ripple effect of positivity that can reach far beyond the activities that we take in the here and now. 6. The acceptance of simplicity. Zen Buddhism is a religion that honors the elegance and clarity that can be found in simplicity. In order to embrace simplicity, it is not essential to give up the conveniences that contemporary life has to offer. Rather, it is vital to concentrate on the things that are truly important and to rid our lives of unneeded distractions and possessions. We make more room in our lives for experiences that are significant and for connections that are more profound when we simplify our lives. There is a common association between the Zen ideal of simplicity and the minimalist philosophy, which promotes the idea of living with less possessions and enjoying more. We are encouraged to differentiate between our necessities and our wants through the use of this strategy, which helps us get rid of the excess that clutters both our brains and our homes. We liberate ourselves from the stress and load of sustaining things and activities that are not necessary by letting go of those things and activities. Decluttering can be a liberating and instructive exercise, illuminating what aspects of our lives are genuinely significant and highlighting what we should be focusing on. Additionally, adopting a simpler lifestyle enables us to approach life with greater mindfulness. By reducing the number of things that compete for our attention, we will be able to concentrate more intently on the here and now. This concentration not only heightens our awareness and appreciation of the environment around us, but it also develops our capacity to connect with both other people and with and within ourselves. Through the cultivation of a sense of clarity and tranquility, simplicity makes it simpler to negotiate the intricacies of life without experiencing feelings of being overwhelmed. Keeping our mental and emotional lives as simple as possible is also important. We may lessen the amount of mental clutter and emotional tension in our lives by learning to prioritize our priorities and concentrating on what is most important. To accomplish this mental cleansing, it is vital to let rid of worries that are not necessary, bad ideas, and behaviors that are not constructive. By cultivating an attitude of thankfulness and happiness, we can instead learn to appreciate the straightforward pleasures and experiences that contribute to the enrichment of our lives. It is not necessary to live a life that is devoid of joy or austerity in order to embrace simplicity. Rather, it is about discovering delight in the simplest things in life and developing a life that is balanced and harmonious. In doing so, it inspires us to discover contentment in the here and now and to see the beauty that can be found in the most ordinary of things. Through the process of simplifying our lives, we can bring ourselves into closer alignment with our authentic selves and the natural flow of life, so investing each moment with greater significance and satisfaction. 7. Making gratitude a practice. Zen Buddhism is a powerful practice that may shift our view on life, and one of its most important practices is gratitude. We can develop a sense of abundance and satisfaction by establishing an attitude of thankfulness, which allows us to shift our focus from what we do not have to what we do have for ourselves. This adjustment of perspective not only improves our mental and emotional well-being, but it also strengthens our connection to the people around us and the moment we are in at the moment. The act of regularly meditating on the positive elements of our lives is an essential component of the practice of gratitude. Something as straightforward as keeping a thankfulness diary, in which we record the things for which we are grateful on a daily basis, can do this. These reflections can range from moments of joy that are simple and everyday to those that are significant and life-changing. The practice of recognizing and appreciating these positive aspects contributes to the development of a mindset that is characterized by abundance and contentment. Gratitude also strengthens the bonds that bind us to others. We are able to deepen our relationships with others and cultivate a sense of mutual appreciation and respect when we express thanks to ourselves and others. A ripple effect of kindness and optimism can be created in our communities as a result of this positive energy, which can lead to interactions that are more peaceful and rewarding. In addition, thankfulness enables us to experience higher resilience when confronted with adversity. By concentrating on the things that we do have rather than the things that we do not have, we are able to construct a foundation of resilience and optimism that can bring us through challenging times. This does not mean that we should disregard our issues. Rather, it means that we should address them from a point of inner strength and perspective, acknowledging that even in the midst of challenging circumstances, there are aspects of our lives for which we can be thankful. There is a strong connection between the spiritual practice of thankfulness and the principles of mindfulness and letting go that were covered before. By cultivating an appreciation for the present moment and the ephemeral quality of life, we are able to let go of our attachments and anxieties, so discovering peace and contentment in the current moment. Not only does this strategy improve our general well-being, but it also enables us to make the most of the current moment and experience more joy in our lives. In its most basic form, the practice of thankfulness is acknowledging the wealth that already exists inside and around us, as well as enjoying the richness of our lives. This attitude of gratitude has the potential to alter our experience of life, making each moment more significant and satisfying. 8. The sense of patience as wisdom. Within the framework of Zen Buddhism, patience is regarded as a vital virtue for both personal development and the attainment of inner calm. It is possible that learning patience can be an effective cure to stress and anxiety in a world that moves at a rapid pace and frequently demands instant gratification. Being patient enables us to take things more slowly, to fully immerse ourselves in the here and now, and to have faith in the way that life goes. It is the realization that not everything goes according to our schedule that is the source of the wisdom that brings about patience. By letting go of the demand for quick outcomes, we make room in our lives for a style of living that is more in tune with nature and provides more harmony. This acceptance has the potential to lessen our feelings of frustration and impatience, so assisting us in experiencing the highs and lows of life with greater ease and grace. Kindness and gentleness toward oneself are also essential components of the practice of patience. It is common for us to have high expectations regarding our growth and accomplishments, which can result in self-criticism and disappointment when we are unable to adhere to these standards. Through the cultivation of patience, we are able to accept our journey with compassion and understanding, acknowledging that advancement and transformation are processes that require time. Compassion for oneself has the potential to improve our resilience and overall well-being, so enabling us to go forward with a stronger sense of self-assurance and tranquility. When it comes to our connections with other people, patience is also essential. We cultivate a sense of empathy and understanding in ourselves and others by practicing patience with people around us. This has the potential to strengthen our relationships, resulting in an atmosphere that is more encouraging and pleasant. When we have patience, we are able to listen more attentively, speak more clearly, and reply with kindness rather than reacting out of impatience. The cultivation of patience is intricately connected to the practices of mindfulness and acceptance. It is possible to build a sense of serenity and contentment by remaining in the present moment and accepting things in their current state. Through the use of this strategy, we are able to let go of the need to exert control over every facet of our lives and instead put our faith in the natural flow of existence. Being patient is about loving the trip rather than being fixated on the destination. This is the essence of the knowledge of patience. Trusting in the natural flow of life and allowing events to take place at their own pace are essential components of this concept. This way of thinking has the potential to bring about a great sense of serenity and contentment, so assisting us in living more intentionally and joyously in the here and now. 9. The act of practicing humility. One of the most important virtues in Zen Buddhism is humility, which encourages us to face life with an open mind and emotional heart. Understanding our limitations, understanding our interconnectedness with others, and letting go of the demand for superiority that is motivated by our egos are all important aspects of this. A higher sense of self-awareness, compassion, and knowledge can be attained through the practice of humility. The realization that each of us is a component of a larger whole is the first step toward developing humility. Through this comprehension, we are able to cultivate a sense of connectivity and empathy, which in turn enables us to understand beyond our own wants and needs. It is possible for us to approach other people with better compassion and understanding if we first acknowledge our own personal limitations and shortcomings. This attitude of humility has the potential to improve our relationships, so producing an atmosphere that is more encouraging and harmonious. Furthermore, humility enables us to allow ourselves to be receptive to learning and development. When we let go of the urge to always be right or to have all the answers, we make room for fresh perspectives and insights to come into our lives. It is possible that this openness will lead to increased wisdom and comprehension, which will assist us in navigating the problems that life presents with more grace and resilience. Putting humility into practice also requires us to treat ourselves with kindness and gentleness. We are able to create a sense of self-compassion and understanding by giving ourselves permission to acknowledge our shortcomings and limits. This self-compassion has the potential to improve our general well-being, so assisting us in moving forward with a stronger sense of self-assurance and tranquility. Mindfulness and letting go are two practices that are strongly connected to the discipline of humility. The ability to let go of the need to control every element of our lives and to trust in the natural flow of existence is something that may be accomplished by remaining present and accepting things in their current state. By taking this approach, we are able to build a sense of peace and satisfaction, which in turn makes each moment greater in significance and fulfillment. In its most basic form, the discipline of humility entails acknowledging our position within the wider fabric of life and entering each moment with an open heart and mind. We can create a sense of calm and fulfillment that is not limited by the difficulties of day-to-day living if we let go of the demand for superiority that is driven by our egos and embrace the fact that we are interconnected with other people. 10. Discovering happiness in everyday situations. The practice of Zen Buddhism teaches us to discover happiness and beauty in the mundane moments of our lives. By engaging in this technique, we allow ourselves to shift our focus from the pursuit of remarkable events to the appreciation of the mundane, everyday activities that are sometimes overlooked. The cultivation of this mindset allows us to improve our general sense of well-being and discover a more profound significance in the lives that we lead on a daily basis. Mindfulness is the first step toward discovering delight in everyday experiences. It is possible for us to become more aware of the splendor and abundance that is all around us if we give our complete attention to the moment that we are seeing. When we totally immerse ourselves in these seemingly insignificant events, such as the sensation of the sun's warmth on our skin, the sound of birds singing, or the flavor of a delectable meal, we can experience a tremendous sense of joy and contentment. Additionally, this technique requires letting go of the craving for stimulation and excitement that is there all the time. In a world that frequently places a higher value on accomplishment and consumerism, it is simple to overlook the straightforward pleasures that have the potential to bring about genuine happiness. We can re-establish a connection with the joy that comes from simply being alive if we take the time to slow down and relish the moment that we are in right now. Additionally, discovering delight in everyday occurrences has the potential to strengthen our relationships. Every time we give our complete attention to the people around us, we are able to forge more profound connections with them and cultivate a sense of mutual admiration and respect. It is possible that this aware presence will result in relationships that are more satisfying, so enhancing our lives with a sense of connection and belonging. It is also necessary to cultivate an attitude of thankfulness in order to discover joy in everyday times. It is possible for us to shift our emphasis from what we do not have to what we do have if we make it a habit to regularly reflect on the positive aspects of our lives. Our entire sense of well-being can be improved by cultivating an attitude of thankfulness, which can encourage us to see and appreciate the beauty and plenty that already exists within and around us. When it comes down to it, discovering joy in everyday occurrences is all about enjoying the here and now and appreciating the mundane, everyday experiences that are frequently overlooked. It is possible for us to discover a more profound sense of meaning and fulfillment in our everyday lives by cultivating mindfulness, gratitude, and a sense of presence. This will result in each moment being more abundant and joyous. A transforming way to leading a life that is more aware, compassionate, and meaningful can be found in Zen Buddhism, which is characterized by its profound teachings and practical knowledge. Its concepts are timeless and universal, and they provide us with significant insights that can assist us in navigating the complexity of modern existence with grace and peace. It is possible for us to build a way of being that improves our well-being, deepens our relationships, and brings more peace and joy into our lives if we delve thoroughly into the fundamental precepts of Zen Buddhism. The Zen Buddhist practice of mindfulness is considered to be the religion's centerpiece. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to our thoughts, feelings and sensations without passing judgment on them. It is the discipline of being fully present in each one of our moments. Mindfulness acts as a mooring that prompts us to return to the here and now, which is especially important in our modern society, which is loaded with distractions. It makes it possible for us to have a more complete experience of life, appreciating the splendor and abundantness of each moment. We are able to liberate ourselves from the never-ending stream of thoughts that frequently obscure our brains if we engage in the practice of mindfulness. Because of this clarity, we are able to make decisions that are more mindful, respond to circumstances with better wisdom, and nurture a more profound feeling of calm throughout our lives. In Zen Buddhism, Zazen, also known as seated meditation, is considered to be one of the most fundamental practices. Zazen is a mindful practice that consists of simply sitting, paying attention to the breath, and letting thoughts come and go without attaching oneself to them. By practicing Zazen on a consistent basis, we are able to cultivate a deeper conscious awareness of our thought processes and acquire a deeper understanding of the nature of our mind. Because of this awareness, we are able to detect and let go of harmful thinking patterns, which ultimately leads to a more positive and balanced mental state from our perspective. In addition, the practice of Zazen enhances our capacity for patience, resilience, and inner calmness, all of which can be carried over into our everyday life. Zen Buddhism places a strong focus on living in peace with nature and simplicity, which is another important part of the religion. We learn to appreciate the straightforward aspects of life and to discover beauty in the mundane via the practice of Zen. Simplifying our lives allows us to make more room for the things that are truly important to us, and it also helps us minimize the tension and anxiety that are frequently associated with a lifestyle that is cluttered and stressful. Our interactions with the natural world are also characterized by this element of simplicity. By realizing our interconnectedness with all living beings, Zen teaches us to live in harmony with nature and to live in harmony with ourselves. This point of view instills in us a sense of stewardship and respect for the environment, which in turn motivates us to make decisions that are beneficial to the health of the planet. For Zen Buddhism, compassion is one of the most important tenets. All of us are interconnected, and the actions we take have a domino impact on those around us, according to the teachings of Zen. Through the cultivation of compassion, we are able to open our hearts to the suffering of others and create a real desire to alleviate that suffering. Not only does this compassionate approach extend to other people, but it also extends to ourselves. A significant component of Zen practice is self-compassion, which urges us to treat ourselves with the same compassion and understanding that we would offer to a close friend. This is an essential feature of the Zen practice. We are able to contribute to a world that is more loving and compassionate by cultivating connections that are more robust and supportive via the practice of compassion. Additionally, Zen Buddhism places a strong emphasis on the need of cultivating a life that is genuine and in harmony with our true nature. To accomplish this, we must let go of the expectations of society and the validations that come from the outside world, and instead focus on ourselves in order to find out who we truly are. We are able to make a significant contribution to the world and express our one-of-a-kind gifts and talents when we live our lives in an authentic manner. As a result of this authenticity, we are no longer attempting to conform to a predetermined pattern. Rather, we are living our lives in line with our most profound ideals and goals, which in turn generates a sense of fulfillment and purpose. The cultivation of a beginner's mind, also known as Shoshin, is an important component of Zen practice. One who greets each moment with a sense of wonder and possibility is said to have a beginner's mind, which is characterized by an open, inquiring, and receptive frame of mind. The adoption of this frame of mind enables us to perceive things in their genuine state, free from the influence of preconceptions and judgments. Keeping a mindset of a beginner allows us to keep ourselves open to new experiences and learnings, which in turn helps us to cultivate a sense of progress and discovery throughout our entire lives. In addition, the practice of Zen Buddhism requires us to incorporate compassion and knowledge into our day-to-day activities. The concept of wisdom in Zen refers to not only intellectual knowledge, but also a profound and intuitive comprehension of the essence of reality. These insights are the result of first-hand experience as well as the realizations that can be attained through meditation and mindful living. When brought together with compassion, this insight directs us to behave in ways that are beneficial to the well-being of both ourselves and those around us. In doing so, it inspires us to make decisions that are morally sound, to take the appropriate actions, and to make a meaningful contribution to both our local communities and the wider world. The principle of anicca, also known as the concept of impermanence, is an essential component of Zen Buddhism. It serves as a reminder that everything is ephemeral and remains in a state of perpetual change. We are able to cultivate a sense of detachment and equanimity via the cultivation of this awareness of impermanence. As we become more aware of the transient character of experiences, we acquire the ability to appreciate the here and now without becoming overly attached to it. The realization that everything is temporary also makes it easier for us to deal with the difficulties that life throws at us, because we are aware that even the most trying circumstances will eventually pass. As a result, it inspires us to live our lives more fully and consciously, with the awareness that every moment is priceless and one of a kind. Zen also emphasizes the significance of expressing thanks. The act of acknowledging and appreciating the gifts and riches that are present in our life is the very definition of gratitude. Through the practice of cultivating appreciation, we are able to redirect our attention from what is short to what is present and positive. Our entire well-being is improved, we develop a sense of contentment, and our connections with other people are strengthened as a result of experiencing this shift of perspective. Being grateful also opens our hearts to the generosity that life has to offer, which in turn inspires us to give back to others and make a positive contribution to their well-being. Zen practice places a strong emphasis on personal understanding and direct experience, which is one of its most important components. Instead than relying exclusively on the teachings or beliefs that come from the outside, Zen urges us to dig within and find the truth for ourselves. An increased sense of personal responsibility and empowerment can be fostered via the use of this experiential approach. The fact that we have the ability to become aware of our actual nature and to live in accordance with our fullest potential is brought to our attention by this awareness. Through first-hand experience, we are able to acquire a more profound comprehension of both ourselves and the world around us, which ultimately results in increased clarity, wisdom, and inner serenity. When applied to contemporary life, the teachings of Zen Buddhism provide techniques that can be put into practice to alleviate stress and achieve a sense of equilibrium. In spite of the pressures and diversions that we face on a daily basis, the practice of mindfulness, for instance, enables us to maintain our sense of equilibrium and grounding. You can build a sense of peace and focus by focusing your attention to the current moment. This will help you lessen the mental chatter that is going on in your head. This mindfulness may be extended to many other facets of our life, including our jobs and our relationships, as well as our everyday activities and the ways in which we take care of ourselves. The ability to respond to situations with better clarity and composure is facilitated by it, which in turn improves our overall well-being and the quality of our lives. Acceptance of the idea of non-attachment is another principle that Zen Buddhism teaches us to embrace. The concept of non-attachment does not imply detachment or apathy, rather it refers to a healthy connection with our desires and the things that we possess. Recognizing that genuine happiness and contentment originate from inside, rather than from external circumstances or material goods, is a necessary step in this process. Through the practice of non-attachment, we liberate ourselves from the never-ending obsession with acquiring more and build a sense of happiness with what we already possess. A simpler and more intentional manner of living is fostered by this approach, in which we place a higher value on meaningful experiences and connections than we do on the accumulation of material possessions. In addition, the teachings of Zen Buddhism place an emphasis on the significance of community and sangha. The term sangha refers to the community of spiritual practitioners who encourage and facilitate one another's progress along the path of spirituality. Considering the prevalence of individuality and isolation in today's world, the sense of belonging and connection that may be gained via participation in a sangha is exceedingly valuable. By being a member of a community that is encouraging and supporting, we are able to share our experiences, gain knowledge from other people, and receive encouragement and direction. The presence of this sense of community helps to cultivate a sense of interconnectedness and serves as a reminder that we are not traveling alone on this path. Compassion is a central tenet of Buddhism, and it extends to encompass social and environmental responsibilities. When we become conscious of our connectivity with all other beings, it motivates us to take actions that advance social justice, equality, and sustainability. The practice of Zen urges us to engage in appropriate action, which entails making decisions that are moral, just, and in line with the well-being of all individuals. Acting as an advocate for social change, providing support for environmental conservation, and making contributions to the well-being of our communities are all included in this. Our behaviors can be brought into alignment with the principles of compassion and knowledge, which will allow us to build a world that is more just, equitable, and sustainable. The cultivation of a sense of inner freedom and liberation is another benefit of being a Zen Buddhist practitioner. The goal of this emancipation is not to run away from the world. Rather, it is to liberate ourselves from the mental and emotional patterns that tie us. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we are able to obtain an understanding of the nature of our thoughts and feelings, and we come to the realization that these aspects of ourselves do not define us. As a result of this knowledge, we are able to break away from negative patterns and routine reactions, which in turn opens the door to a bigger quantity of freedom and possibilities. It gives us the ability to live our lives in a more genuine manner and to adapt to the obstacles that life throws at us with greater resilience and creativity. It is ultimately possible to arrive to a great sense of peace and fulfillment by following the path of Buddhism. In addition to teaching us to nurture a profound sense of appreciation and satisfaction, it teaches us to live with compassion and wisdom and to accept the moment that we are currently living in. We have the ability to modify our way of being and create a life that is abundant in meaning, purpose, and joy if we incorporate these principles into our lives. The practice of Zen is a journey that does not end. It is a journey that continues to unfold and deepen as we develop and progress throughout our lives. It is a way of life that encourages us to become aware of our authentic selves and to live in harmony with ourselves, with other people, and with the external world. I would want to conclude that the teachings of Zen Buddhism provide a timeless and practical guidance to living a life that is more aware, compassionate, and rewarding. It is possible for us to negotiate the problems of modern life with greater ease and grace if we embrace mindfulness, simplicity, compassion, sincerity, and knowledge. In order to cultivate inner peace and well-being, we can benefit from the practices of Zazen, non-attachment, appreciation, and community. Creating a life that is deeply aligned with our true nature and is full with joy, meaning, and purpose is something that we are able to accomplish by incorporating these concepts into our lives. Awakening to the present moment, living with an open heart and mind, and making a positive contribution to the well-being of all beings are all invitations that are extended to those who follow the path of Zen. The journey of self-discovery, change, and emancipation that ultimately results in a profound sense of inner peace and contentment is referred to as the discovery journey. When we take this route, we are able to experience the true essence of life and to fully appreciate the beauty and magic that each moment has to offer.